Hey there guys, welcome back to Train Simulator. We're on the Island line today. I must wait until 15:49 when I can depart. I don't know what time it is. These instructions don't tell me. The Island line is the only one I can play without a HUD, but I do need the HUD for the time. So we're up at the pier head. We're playing the Pier Pressure scenario today. So just a simple trip down to Shanklin. Don't have to come back, so it should be quite quick. But in a minute, we might be allowed to leave. And there's the hovercraft coming in. Only commercial operating hovercraft in the world, as I understand it. Anyway, it's close enough to 15:49, we can leave. Let's take the brakes off and throttle. There we go, it's 15:49. I believe the speed limit is 10 through the platform. So we'll go at 8, and then once we're past the sign, it's 20. We're a 2-car train, okay, so very short, especially if it's ex-underground stock, so shorter carriages to begin with. And out onto the pier we go. Definitely not precarious. Oh, we're probably past that 20 sign now. So just got up to 19, maybe a bit higher. There we go, 20. Now along the pier we have to stop at Esplanade. Or Esplanade, depending on how you wish to pronounce it, but I would pronounce it Esplanade. So you can see here, this bit of the pier is the railway. To our right, disused, the old tramway used to run just from Esplanade to Pierhead, and then to the right of that is the road. Because there's a car park at the Pierhead for the ferry terminal, and I need to consider stopping. And then here at Esplanade, you can see the other platform isn't overgrown, which is a rarity. So for a while, at least for as long as I can remember, this platform has always been overgrown and out of use. Not least, there's no crossover up at Pierhead to get between the two platforms. The only crossover is here, and it's only one way. So to get up to platform 1 at Pierhead, and I think it's platform 1, and I think this is platform 1, but I don't know. Anyway, to use this line, you have to be on it from St John's Road, which isn't really conducive to an intensive service. There is a period many years ago where an extra shuttle service ran on that line, just from Esplanade to Pierhead. But there haven't been the trains available to run that for a long time now. So it's effectively out of use. I think it is completely severed now. But we can carry on. We will go over to the left line at this junction though, to go through the tunnel. And the speed limit is 20, but it's quite a steep downhill, so we do have to be careful. I'm going to stop accelerating just because the hill will get us past 20 easily. Yeah, you can see in the top left my speed shooting up. I'm not applying any throttle, I'm going to need some brake. And this tunnel is the reason that the Island line uses X-tube stock. It kept flooding, so they raised the track bed, and now it doesn't fit normal trains. It's also quite a tight corner in it, so it needs to be quite short carriages, is my understanding. So these 483s are X1938 stock from the Northern Line, and they've been replaced by Class 484s, XD stock from the District Line. Who knows what they'll get next. Before these, they had other underground stock, but I couldn't tell you what stock it was off the top of my head. But these, by the time they were withdrawn, these were maths. 62, 82, 84, yeah, 83 or 84 years old by the time these were withdrawn. Oldest continuously operating trains on the network. I think the limit's still 20, but honestly I haven't got a clue. It is. I couldn't remember if there was another sign on coming out of the tunnel, because this is a tight corner. But evidently not. It's still got semaphore signals on this part of the line. This doesn't continue. South of Smallbrook, they all go colour light. And in fact, some of them are colour light here. But the signal box is at Ryde, so. No, it's at, yeah, St John's Road. This part of Ryde. So we've not left Ryde yet. And here we go, there's a fence just past the bridge, so we need to stop before the bridge, really. So we'll just pull up to it. I see there's the signal box ahead on the right. Come on, train. Have the decency to stop. There we go. Apparently I stopped too far forward for the front coach. It wasn't deliberate. There's a train in the depot. Little wagon on the tracks. And here's the train going the other way. So yes, the Island Line runs, or ran at this point in time, a 2-train service. It was 20 and 40 minute intervals rather than every half hour, because it there wasn't a passing loop in the middle, so they had to pass alternating between Ryde St John's Road and Sandown. Which meant if one train ran 20 minutes behind the other, and they could do a full trip in an hour, they could do those passings properly. Now, when they brought in the 484s, they upgraded a lot of stuff, a lot of the signalling and track and everything, and they also added a passing loop at the braiding. And the intention of that was to go to every half hour. And stop passing trains at St John's Road and Sandown, although they've retained the loops just in case. As it turns out, braiding is not quite the midpoint of the line, so you sort of need an every 29 and 31 minute intervals, rather than half hourly. It doesn't quite work, but they've done the best they can with the timetable. A whistle. It's presumably a pedestrian crossing coming up. I haven't seen any other signs, so I'm assuming it's still 20. No, it's 45. Okay, I'll accelerate them. I did not see a sign for that. I'll have to have a look on my way. Well, actually, I'm not going back past. Oh well. I can fly back up when I stop at Smallbrook, though. So that's not far away. And I do have to stop, which means I need to sort of be prepared, because there's not a huge amount of warning for it. In fact, I think it's just under this bridge. Yeah, it looks like it. There we go, there's the crossover onto the steam railway. That's been severed. Actually, that was severed a long time ago. There's no connection now. As much as the steam railway is inclined to run to Ryde, they did sever their connection that would have allowed them to do so. Here we come across onto the single track, and to a halt at the station. Smallbrook Junction, the only station in the UK completely inaccessible on foot. It can only be accessed by train. It's purely here to serve as an interchange with the steam railway, and when the steam railway isn't running, trains don't stop, because there's no way off of it. Anyway, I was going to go and look for that 45 limit. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get far enough back, though. Oh no, I can get all the way back to ride. Maybe it was just... Oh, it was just before the platform, that's why I missed it. Okay, off we go again. Accelerate at Smallbrook Junction. Next stop, Brading. It's on a quite tight right-hand corner. I think we get a bit of warning because the speed limit drops down to 20 before it, which should help with the stop. Then after that, Sandown is on a loop. The speed limit drops before that, so we get a warning there. And at Shanklin at the end of the line, the speed limit drops because it's buffers at the end of the platform, so get warning there. Lake is the only one we don't get warning for, and we have to be really on the ball about the 45 limit through Lake, and from the point you can see it, you do not have enough time to stop. So you need to kind of know where it is. Luckily for this direction there are a couple of landmark waypoint things to look out for, I believe, if I can remember what they are. So now we've got out of ride. It's quite a long distance down to Brading. Mostly at 45 and mostly straight. However, it is quite hilly, so you do have to be on the ball with the throttle and the brake. Make sure you don't go over 45. And now we're going uphill, so I'll put the throttle back on again. Regain the speed, and looks like we're about to go downhill again, and a warning for a lower speed limit. Only 40 though, it's not dropping much. However, it is on quite a steep downhill, so I'm going to have to apply quite a bit of braking. I broke a bit too much, so we'll just let it accelerate from the hill again. So past the 40 sign. And be ready to apply the brakes when we get up towards it. There we go. That's around where we want it. Have 20%. That's a bit too little. A bit than that. Oh, there's another warning sign coming up. What's this warning about? I have to keep an eye on the top left to make sure I don't speed, but also, okay, we're going down to 20. Probably quite soon, so I'll sort of apply the brakes a bit now and just let it drift down. I think it's just after the bridge. Possibly just before the bridge. So this is that sweeping right turn I mentioned that Brading is on. So Brading is on, the platform is on the right, but there is also a platform to the left of us that's disused. I think it's just after the bridge. We know there's a 20 coming up, so let's just bring the speed down. There it is. So now I've got something to aim for. We should make it. Yeah, we'll easily make that. Whistle, take the brakes off. There's a pedestrian crossing either side of Brading Station. Round the corner we come and you can see the footbridge and the platform on the left. And the old signal box out to the side, because Brading used to be a junction station back when there were loads of lines on the Isle of Wight. And braking into the station because we do need to stop. Yeah, we really do need to stop. There we go. So yes, used to be a junction station, used to have 3 platforms, now only 1. Or only 1 in this time period, but actually now it's got 2 again. So they've added in a loop here, on this line. Reopened this platform. Fenced off the back of it, obviously. I think they're refurbishing the footbridge, last I saw. I think it is done now. And they've added in a... this is a bit weird. So there is a pedestrian crossing here, which appears to have not made it into the train sim route. They've actually converted that into a crossing for the station, an accessible crossing, because the bridge isn't accessible. Which has for a while meant a very low speed limit through Brading. Because opening a new foot crossing on National Rail it's not a common thing nowadays. They don't do it often. I'm probably still meant to be doing 20. Oh no, I can do 45, okay. Missed the 45 limit. It must have been just after the station. Yes, opening a new foot crossing on Narrow Rail is difficult. They're not a fan of it. They're not a fan of existing foot crossings. So I'm not quite sure how that got through. Whether it just because it was an upgrade to an existing one, it was better than if they'd been opening it completely. But it did, for a while at least, mean a 5 mile an hour limit through Brading, which I think they've possibly resolved now, because that was not helping the trying to get up to an every half hour service. There are quite a few crossings along this line. Well, I guess when your maximum speed's 45 miles an hour, it's probably not too bad. So Sandown is next. Sandown's on the passing loop, so shouldn't be too difficult. There should be some warning of a speed limit decrease just before the station. Also, I should probably stop throttling up because we have hit 45 there. I got a bit distracted just now thinking about how, if it used to be in every 20 and then 40 minute interval service run by 2 trains, could it have been, and alternating passing point, could it have been a 3 train service running every 20 minutes? But I don't think it would have worked. Although I can't, without like actually trying to write down a timetable, I wouldn't be able to say for certain whether it would work or not. That 15 is quite soon and I'm not going to manage that. I kind of forgot to slow down. I got close, to be fair. I suspect it may have, if you tried to do a 3 train service, may have ended up with trains trying to pass at Brading anyway. So I think I did try and make a scenario for this route once that used... That house is floating. I may have tried to make a scenario once for this route that used 3 trains, and I think you just ended up with really long dwells at either end, while the other 2 trains passed one of the passing points. I think you still ended up with 40-minute intervals, It just meant there was a lot longer wait at either end of the line, which I guess is good for performance purposes, but defeats the purpose of the third train, really. Oh, there's not even a house. It's just a fenced conservatory, but it is floating. Oh, you're gonna love old train sim. It's possible there did used to be an asset there, of course, that's just corrupted in my game data. Would hardly be the first time. Right. Limit's currently 10. Next stop is Lake, and that's the one that is quite easy to miss. So let's keep an eye out for it. Really not going for this limit of 10 here, am I? It's fine. I wasn't expecting a good score for this scenario anyway. It was more to see if I was still capable of driving it without the HUD. Just the information in the top left. Which, I mean, I kind of am. I'm just on minus 136 points because speed limits. And that's not so much... I've always assumed a lower speed limit. If I've not remembered what it is, I've always assumed a lower one. My problem has been when I've known perfectly well what the speed limit is and I've just not been paying attention. Which the HUD would not have helped with. So... I'm still capable of driving without it. Quite how I've lost that many points from speeding, I'm not sure, but... Now, I think it's just over this... It's on an uphill stretch, Lake, but I think it's soon after that bridge. There it is, I think. Yeah, it's just after the bus stop. You can see the start of the platform there. We need to start braking then. It looks like the platform's been built flat. So the front end of the platform is a lot lower compared to the train, compared to the back end. If we look at that, it's down below at this end. It's up above the step. It's not hugely noticeable, but you'd have probably struggled to fit a 4-coach train in at Lake. Lake is quite a new station, relatively speaking. I think it was opened after the rest of the lines were closed. I believe, potentially. Although it's not as new as Smallbrook Junction, which was opened in the 90s. Right, off we go. I believe it was the 90s Smallbrook was opened. Whistle, and our final stop of Shanklin is approaching, so we're almost done. I have a single point. How did I lose that many points? As far as I was aware, I was only speeding once. And not for nearly long enough to lose that many points. Oh well, under the bridge. And we should be wary of a 10 or 15 limit soon. It's not far to Shanklin. Yeah, we're almost there. There's the 15 warning. I've been letting it coast for a while anyway, so not going at a great speed. But honestly, we were never going to get a great score. We're not due there for another 4 minutes. Might have to accelerate slightly though, or we won't get there. We are still going uphill. Shanklin Station is up quite a big hill. It's quite high up in the town. I think you end up going down a cliff effectively to get to the beach. And here we go, there's the 15 limit starting at the end of the platform. And you can see the buffers at the other end that we have to stop before. And we'll try and bring it to a stop down the end under the canopy. There we go. That'll do. Open the doors. Let everyone on and off. Or, you know, everyone appears to just be staying on for a round trip to go back up north again. Suit yourselves. And that's the Island Line. Nice and short little route. Really is. The train sim route includes the steam railway, which we didn't really look at. But it's there. And we've completed the scenario. My reviewer is very impressed that I can adhere to the timetable by speeding a lot. Yes, okay. Sure. There was an awful lot of speeding involved. I scored 144. Where was all the speeding then? I lost 49 points at braiding apparently. And some at... So, okay, so I was a little late at Smallbrook and lost some points. I was then, well, I didn't lose some points, but I gained less points than I should have. I was very late at braiding and lost some points. Applied the emergency brakes a bit and then was speeding. Quite okay, I did quite a lot of 47. Didn't realise that. And 17, 15, 12 and a 10. Quite late at Sandown, so only gained 5. Yeah, okay, so I can see where I lost all the points then. Fair enough. Well, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed a lot more, and I'll catch you in the next one.